Hello. So I once lived in a dorm for 3 semesters in two separate dorms. Um, it was an experience for me being away from home uh, for the first time and returning to home eventually. So dorms are dormitories in college that are on campus, and my experience was up and down like a roller coaster until it went down fully and I left the dorms. And there's not one thing to blame, and this thing is about my dorm experience, which is not that good. And I'll elaborate soon about it. And there are a lot of reasons I won't be as long as the other ones, or it could be, because I like to make stuff long. And I'm gonna first talk about um the first thing, roommates. So roommates are determined first year by having the same major and being in the same learning community. Um, my roommate was randomly selected because I did not have anyone to be a roommate with, and I wanted a new experience and someone I didn't know, and I wanted to live on campus the first year, which was for 2 semesters in the same dorm. And my roommate for my first semester and second semester was pretty fine. He was not up very late, and he didn't like um for the next one he wasn't like very loud. He didn't bring anyone over, but my other one didn't bring them me people over. And I didn't know the people that he knew, so it was much easier to know about him and to socialize with him. Like he's not a stranger to me. And my next roommate, who I lived with for a semester, oh, he's not a bad person, but he would talk very loud as I'm doing in this video while gaming. Yeah, gaming with his friends, and it was very loud. I just nothing would work, and I'll go into later what it's like, and he wouldn't do any of the chores like bathroom cleaning. Like I didn't on my part, I didn't like tell him to do anything, and I haven't seen him like vacuum. I'd seen him do laundry, but I didn't see him do much to help the dorm. And I'm gonna elaborate on that being why I left the dorms and other reasons. Okay, so dorms don't have like one room on them. There are other people. My dorm was co-ed, but that's not much. That's not that important to my experience. So I did talk to my floor mates first year because it was in donut shape and it was a first year dorm. So the floor was. I'm not saying this for all dorms. The floor was isolated. You had to walk through the outside, and you had to walk through the outside to get to the other floors. So it's completely isolated from other floors. Um, so we had to talk to each other and get to know each other. They aren't like good friends. They were like more acquaintances, but that's like a good start to find friends. And I still like recognize to this day and still see them on campus despite not living there. And the next thing that probably put me to the edge, the bathrooms. I'm gonna try to keep this video appropriate, but the bathrooms have 2 stalls and 2 showers, and the floor the my floor for my first year was donut shaped with the bathrooms in the middle, and there were like um about like 15 guys to one bathroom, and you may say that's not a lot. That is a lot because if people are showering, then it's not a good experience. I was very lucky where I was able to shower at my time because I waked up early for my classes or waked up late. So I had no trouble finding showers. Sometimes the stalls were taken up by two people, and it wasn't that good. And sometimes when you're feeling lonely, you want to be able to find the stall, and the only phrase I could put it, think good thoughts in the stall, and just like think good thoughts while just doing your business. That's very hard to do if you have other people in the dorms, so you'll maybe feel embarrassed. Yeah, that's why I didn't like my bathrooms. My second year bathroom was only shared with the other room over, and it had to be cleaned. No one else cleaned it, so I was the one cleaning it, but I didn't um ask anyone to clean it, so I kind of blame myself for me having to clean the bathroom. And that was more privacy, and I could have good thoughts in that bathroom. And yeah, I'm not gonna elaborate on what I mean about that, and I can just reminisce about life and escape. And let's go back to my roommate for the third semester. So sleeping was super difficult. The only way I could fall asleep was, for the most part, using melatonin or a sleeping pill, and it would work, but it would leave me feeling super weird the next day because he was loud. I don't have like a grudge against him personally now, but then I did have a lot of anger, and I just pent it up. I don't want to go up into it, but this is why I did not like my third semester, and I don't want to sidetrack myself. And the next one is washing machines and dryers. So in my first year dorm, these were like low supply. It was only two washing machines and two dryers for the whole floor, so that's 30 people to two washers and two dryers. So that's that's not a lot of time to share and such. And I did like take a while to do my laundry, and when I did, sometimes someone else would be there. And in second year dorms, my second year dorm only had one laundry room. So in the first year dorm, there is one laundry room for one floor. In the second year dorm, there's one laundry room with about six washing machines and eight dryers, which is strange because would want the same amount, but that is how it is, and people wouldn't take their stuff out of the washing machine or dryer until later, and um, it is socially acceptable to take people's stuff out of the dryer, even if it seems weird. That will happen to you in your second year dorm because there's limited supply. Because there was like only 200 people to that many amount of dryers and washers, and every dorm has an elevator and staircase, which would happen in an ideal world. However, older dorms only have a staircase, and you have to bring all your stuff up those stairs, and it can be very inconvenient. You have to walk all all up those stairs. But if you're in like in a special dorm or in a second year dorm, you get it in an elevator, but you have to wait for it if someone else is using it. If because my building only had one elevator, excuse me, and that's what happened. And I had to either go to the stairs or walk out my dorm since it was on the second floor and it had access. But if I wanted to enter, I had to go through the stairs, and that's not comfortable. And okay, let's go through the rules. Um, there are supposed to be rules like don't do this, don't do that, and people follow those. But the rules that people don't follow are my pet peeves, like being super loud at night, such as what I'm doing at the moment. But I'm not living in a dorm, so that's good. And sometimes people would hold parties at 12 p.m. Yeah, yeah, 12 p.m. Yeah, it's very late, and I know my bedtime is 12 p.m., and that's because I migrated it because I lived in with my roommate, and it used to be 10:30, but I don't really care that much about that, and I prefer 10 p.m. No, 12 p.m. And but I have trouble waking up early, and that's why I don't want people to be so loud because it interrupts my sleep and forces me to take the sleeping pill, which I do not like to. And let me just say this: if the people are being loud, feel free to confront them. They they will quiet down, or you can report them to the housing authority, and they will change. They will listen. They're not gonna risk their dorm over that. Okay, so there's a lot of things that aren't allowed in the dorm, like some rational stuff, like cooking stove in a dorm. That's not a good idea. And some dorms have kitchens already, so you'll be fine for the most part for cooking. But and some dorms have kitchens inside them, like dorm rooms. And oh, another thing, humidifiers are not allowed, which doesn't like make that much sense for me. And they put like you can't have surge protectors, your own Wi-Fi, anything. You have to use their own services in the dorm. I know it may sound ridiculous, but they have those rules that they have trouble enforcing at times. And one sad thing, if you don't have a lot of friends on campus who live in like your dorm, um, you're gonna feel very isolated. And if you don't talk to them that often and you don't have many friends, it's gonna be very isolating living in the dorms, especially if your family lives far away. For me, they lived here, but it still felt isolated. And it can be very boring. Like there's almost like nothing to do outside of like schoolwork and other things, and you can make it fun, but I did go to all those clubs and I felt like insanely bored in the dorm. Like the only things I did was play video games and such and study and do homework. Um it's also the one part of it being boring was it's very claustrophobic. As you see, um my room is really big, and it's like two times the size of my second year dorm and three times the size of my first year dorm. So I felt very claustrophobic. Also, another person living there, and my first year dorm felt especially claustrophobic because the only thing in the room was the beds, the desk, and the doors. Like my second year dorm did have a hallway before the beds. Um, Air conditioning and heating externally. I know it was unique to my first year dorm. There is a heater and air conditioning just in the room. They didn't have air conditioning heating in the room, only outside the room, and that's what I didn't like, and it felt weird. And in the second year dorm, there was no thermostat, so it felt awful in winter or in summer when you couldn't adjust your thermostat. And my dorm experience, as you can see, was not really good, and I could go into more reasons why that third semester was awful and made me leave the dorms. Glad that back at home, making these videos very loudly and violating quiet hours. Yes, I don't want this experience to ruin your dorm experience. It's every experience is different, but a lot of these can go wrong. Like the claustrophobia and the isolation can affect you a lot while living the dorm in the dorms. Um, and living on off campus can alleviate this if you get your own room and such, or if you move back in, and it can be much more comfortable. I don't take back living in the dorms at all for the third semester, but for the first and second, I was able to meet people on campus, and it was a nice experience getting connected with the campus that I go to still through my fourth semester and nearing my finals. And every experience I've had, I don't see it as a losing time, as a learning moment. So I hope you enjoyed my story and hope the best in your lives.